Hello, and welcome to the Disc Dungeon, where we put you on to musics and melodies in the deepest, darkest dungeons of your computer disk. I'm your co-host, Joe Dove, and with me as always,
Julian, Valencia. And if there's one thing we love talking about, it's music.
welcome back to the Disc Dungeon. I'm your co-host, Joe Dove, and with me as always...
Julian, who was on time.
Oh, wow. Hey, man, you got to build Brooklyn better because it took forever to get here, and I was only 7 frickin' miles.
I know. Once you hit that, I mean, you just can't be traveling between 2 and 4, man.
Oh my
It's just like
God.
traveling between 2 and 4 or 2
I
and
need
5
a
in
s-
Brooklyn is just ridiculous.
I need a spaceship.
And you probably traveled like you said, a total of like a mile.
Yeah, that was the longest part. All because
Yeah.
some guy like pulled over to the side. It wasn't even like a terrible crash. It was just
Yeah.
this guy sitting there.
And then people start watching him, and then
Yeah.
people don't know how to merge in.
Crazy.
Anyways, guys, this episode is not about Brooklyn traffic.
No. This is not the traffic dungeon. This is the disc dungeon,
This is episode 28.
Oh my God.
We call this episode ReCreate.
which rhymes with 28.
Wow, that was not.
That's because you're a music and soul. So
So, I mean, we did that last episode too. 27 made it to heaven.
Yeah.
Is this like a thing now?
I don't think so.
No.
I think it just rhymed for these
29, feeling fine?
particular- I was thinking the same thing.
29, 69.
Oh.
Hey. Oh, my God. That's why your kids can't be watching
No,
this.
that's why we're critically acclaimed for
Critically
naughty.
acclaimed for what?
being naughty.
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 Guys, so this episode, as always, starts off with Let Me Put You On. And Joe, I put you on to Nostalgia Ultra by my man. This is like my sting,
Yes.
which is Frank Ocean.
Yes.
What did
And
you think?
I
man?
love that album. It was, and then it's interesting because it mainly was a cover album because you said it was like a one-off. It wasn't like a.
Well, it was his. This is his first appearance. Like this is
Right.
like the first time
this
he
is his
dropped
drop-off,
music,
Yeah.
and this is actually what put him on the map and got him signed with Def Jam Records for a little bit, and then Odd Future. This is really what got him there.
And that reminds me of a lot of artists that started out that way. A lot of people started out doing covers, and that's what made them famous. So then once they branched off and said, okay, I'm no longer doing covers, I'm going to start doing my own music. Some people got moderate success. Some people were very successful. Dave Matthews is an example. And a lot of different musicians that I like. Even Sting was busking, my favorite. I managed to put him in again. Anyway, he even started out busking underground, playing guitar, singing. He had a great voice, so he sang a lot of covers. And Frank Sinatra even did covers. He would make little changes in the whole scope of the song just to be putting his own mark on it. And I feel like Frank did that to a greater extent because
Yeah.
he changed the lyrics totally. His Hotel California remake, which is American Wedding, does not have any of the references that the original song Hotel California
Yeah, like
had.
the Hotel California cover he did, if you can call it a cover, he literally just
remake.
uses the music,
and then raps over it.
kind of uses the same melodic themes, but he's talking about Mustangs and
Yeah.
and American weddings.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
essentially,
totally different. Totally different. And then even Strawberry Swing,
which is a Coldplay song
which is a
originally.
great Coldplay song, which I would say his is on parallel with that.
Mm.
I would not say American Wedding is on parallel with Hotel California. Hotel California
hard.
is like
It's hard.
the song.
Yeah.
So it's really hard for me to go. And even though it's totally in a different vein, it's just that once you hear that almost harpsichord start, the way they did arrange the guitar in the very
Mhm.
beginning, that how it all blends, just hard to replicate, even to change on its own end. It's difficult. But overall, the album was amazing. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, the favorite song that I had was Strawberry Swing, but I really enjoyed the Natural Urge, the My Morning Jacket cover.
Natural Feels.
Natural Feels.
Natural Feels. I
Natural
think.
Feels, My Morning Jacket. I love My Morning Jacket, especially for that song Evil Urges, which this is a cover of. And it's very reminiscent of Prince. And I expected him to try to do like some Prince throws in it just to solidify my quandary as to where they got that whole tune from that band, My Morning Jacket. But apparently he just decided to do his own thing. But it came out fantastic, and I really like that too. So that was my second favorite. So
Cool.
I'm going to give this album a 9. I would listen to this on my own. I do enjoy Prince, and I do enjoy a lot of the bands that he did cover, but I do have a big affinity of love for hip hop and R&B, even though he just wants to be his own thing.
Yeah, he actually when he posted this album on iTunes, or at least the originals on this album, because obviously he's not able to put up American Wedding, which is an actual Hotel California song, but the original songs on this album, when he was asked to put the genre, he put bluegrass and metal, which, I mean, if you listen to these albums,
I didn't get that at all.
you don't get blue, but he was trying to make a statement more so than anything. His point is that if you're a singer and you're black, you're automatically put into this R&B category.
Oh, you're a singer and you're black? R&B.
R&B. And it kind of, I mean, that really defines a lot of who Frank Ocean is. He was signed to Def Jam Records, and that fell through. I mean, we don't know the logistics or the specifics behind what happened, but it probably has to do with the fact that they were trying to put him in a box, that he didn't want to be in. So pretty soon after that, he signed with Odd Future, which is where he met Tyler, the Creator.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's...
Wow, it all comes together.
Yeah, and that's why they work so closely together, and they have a lot of songs, and, even the sound, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
even like
very similar, right.
They're very out of the box black Americans.
And I like that. I like that a lot. Also, well, not a black American, but like Seal. Do you know Seal?
Yeah, of course.
Kiss from a Rose. His first album, I believe it's either self-titled or Killer. Very different from what he became later on. I feel like he ended up conforming and doing more of a R&B soul in his second album. But that first album is crazy, and it's very experimental.
What's the song again? Kiss by a Rose?
Kiss by a Rose is his most famous, but Crazy is where that first album came out of. That's what put him on the map.
Honestly, that's really the only song I know by Seal.
Kiss from a rose on the grave.
So, in this dungeon, our special guest is Joe. Joe is going to sing "Kiss by a Rose."
I'm gonna sing stuff
original,
and then people are gonna make fun of me later. You gotta throw me on audio tune.
Audio tune?
Yeah, auto tune.
Oh man, here we go.
Y'all should make an album.
I'm just gonna keep staring at the camera.
I think you guys should do it. I could do like a commercial for you guys. Have me normal, right? And then you say, I sound like shit. And then have me an auto tune. Wow. And have me like sound like Seal.
Kiss by a rose. And then the auto tune. Kiss by a rose.
That would be amazing. You guys would probably blow up. Yeah.
Wow, we should definitely work with
we gotta go
now.
with it. That guy sounded terrible before.
What did you think of his original music on that album though?
Oh, this is great. Even his original songs on that, because I was gonna call you when I was listening to it the first time I started listening to it.
Oh, you getting sentimental?
Earlier. No. A lot of the sentimental, because there's the sections where he's like taking a tape and flipping it over, and it just reminded me of when I was a kid and I had a tape deck, and I really wanted my uncle's tape deck because he had that solid steel one that you could put on your shoulder and move around.
Yep.
And it was iOS sound. It was so cool, but I had like the cheap like Ferrero Rocher, or you know what I mean, like the Ritzy Tootsie one from Radio. I had a Radio Shack tape player. That's what it was. And that thing kept eating my tapes, and I have to like take the tape out and pray that it doesn't break, and then take a pencil and start rewinding it.
Does the Shack still exist?
No, it's gone.
Right? That went bankrupt.
That went bankrupt. Yeah, because everybody was buying everything from Amazon. So
yeah.
And then my friends will tell, no, it's not Amazon. Yes, it is. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Anywho, back to the music.
Anyways, this is just a public announcement.
Yeah.
Amazon,
fuck you.
You got to do better.
Yeah, stop fucking over people.
You got to do better.
Word. So I put you onto an album.
Yes, you did.
And but to answer your question, I love the nostalgia stuff. The Street Fighter and the Soul Calibur, even those little riffs, so fun.
Yeah.
That was such a fun moment. That's why I got a 9. It would have been lower if it wasn't for that.
Got it. Yeah. So you pretty much anytime I put you onto something that references
classic
80s 90s culture,
it's gonna get high rated.
That's it.
So
I've
be
won you
prepared.
over.
He's gonna like specifically find anybody that references. Oh, do you reference the 80s? All right, here you go, Joe.
Joe,
here you go.
Let me put you on to. So you put me on to a band called B52,
yes.
the B52s.
The B52s.
And
Cosmic Thing.
Yeah, the album was Cosmic Thing.
1989.
Yeah, this album came out in 1989, so I was -1 years old.
Oh, wow. Painful. So painful.
This is why this show works, because of the age difference.
I guess so.
I
hope so.
And I mean the musical taste as well. I mean we just come from two different
genres,
tastes of music. But yeah, man, I was so I listened to the album this morning. You know, I got up. I was up at 5 a.m.
Nice.
You know, dropped off my girlfriend, and I was on the road by 7 a.m. So I was like, all right, it's perfect time to play this album. You know, I'm on the FDR. I'm stuck in traffic.
You were roaming.
I was like, man, this is nice.
You like that?
I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. I'm gonna enjoy this album so much. And 3 songs in, I wanted to kill Joe. I wanted to kill Joe because I hated this body of work.
Oh.
The hate is a strong word.
It is a strong word.
And I don't think I've ever said that before when it in this show before.
Yeah.
But man, I mean maybe it was just where I was, and I was
You're in traffic.
Maybe
I tend to hate music when I'm in traffic.
I don't know, man. I mean, if I'm listening to Led Zeppelin in traffic, man,
No, I don't care what it is.
I'm going in.
If I'm in traffic, I'm angry.
So, but there was
There
a
are people that
surprise.
can attest to that.
There was a surprise in there because
There's always a surprise in my albums.
because thank God this is not PG. But there's a song on there called Rome that I didn't know the name to. I didn't know who sang it, but I've heard this song before. I've heard it in commercials. I've heard it in
Tampax.
Oh, there you go.
No, I'm just saying.
No, not. I mean, how would you know that? That's the real question.
I watch a lot of TV.
Got it. But yeah, Rome if you want to, Rome, or whatever.
Yeah, roam around the world. Yeah.
So it was great. I really like that song, and it's very catchy. I really like that the male lead singer does not speak at all in that song. You know, it's mostly just the
That's
female.
what ruined the album for you. Is him.
I mean, mostly, man. I mean, he was just. I get it. Like, there's speaking parts, but he would do this like, you know, the typical thing you do in the 80s, you know, with like, you know, I feel like everybody in the 80s was trying to copy the Smiths, man.
Yeah.
And that just gets to me because it's like, you know, I guess it was 89, so I guess by the 9th year of that decade, people were you know, had no more creativity left in them.
They're very creative. I'm going to put you on a rock lobster if you're not careful.
Such a dick. Who, Rock Lobster?
Yeah,
oh, okay. I mean, I didn't listen to the song, but I saw that's one of their top hits.
That's their biggest, I think, before this one.
Yeah,
because they went through a whole like reemergence because their one of their original members actually died of HIV/AIDS, and they went through this time of crisis because their album before was not a commercial success and it didn't have much play at all, and then that happened with the bandmate, and then they just kind of went through this whole session of, hey, we got to really blow it out of the park. And they really did. And let me tell you, I mean, I really enjoy that album. I have a lot of like fun memories, as we'll get into later on, but this was a whole reinvention of the band for them.
Which was it this one? The good
No,
good
way
stuff?
down. The other way.
But you said it was after Cosmic Thing.
It was before Cosmic Thing.
So it was before Cosmic Thing that they
bouncing
made
off the satellites.
That's when they did their whole reimagining.
This is the album where they reimagined themselves that I put you onto. The album before Bouncing Off the Satellites didn't have any like big hits.
Got it. Okay.
And it was a commercial bust.
Oh, all right. Well,
and then this brought them out to the apex.
Got it. Well, yeah, Rome is I mean, it was if I know that song and I don't know this band and I don't know the name of the song, then yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That means it was played a lot. You know,
one of my favorite songs of this album is Channel Z. Because there's a guitar, there's like drum, stop. And then it picks back up again. You're like, oh, the song's over. And then all of a sudden it picks back up and it's all rocking out. Heavy bass, loved it.
He loved it.
I loved it.
But he put me onto it.
I did. And he hated it.
So I guess, guys, I would have to, if Rome was not on this album, it would be about a 4.
Painful.
But it's a 5 because Rome was on this album, and I like Rome, and that was obviously my favorite song.
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean shit. Because that's just my opinion. You could listen to this and be like, "What are you talking about, Julian? Go get a license in music critiquing." Because you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But anyways, man, I mean, yeah, I think the main thing is that we both had fun listening to this album, and
you've been singing Rome ever since I got into the
exactly
Rome. Like, hey, Julian, if you want to. Yeah, so Julian, Rome around. Okay, Julian.
All right, Julian.
All right, Julian. Let's focus
here. That's it. Yeah, man. So, Joe.
Yes.
Tell them how music has saved your life.
So, I got to tell you, this album, it just brings so many fond memories for me. The B52s, of course. Specifically, when I was a child, my mother would get, and the album I'm going to put you onto after this is connected to this B52s album, but when I was a kid, I used to drag going to school. I hated it. And even though my grandmother would take me to the dopest bakery spot in New Rochelle, the next town, because my mom would go to school and my grandmother had to drop her off and then take me to elementary school. Though I absolutely loved listening to the B52s in the morning, my mother would be like, all right, no TV. You just got to get yourself ready so that we can go and get to the bakery so you can have some breakfast, and then I can go to school and grandma can drop you off. I'm like, yeah. But what I would do is I would be playing the B52s, and I'd be watching Spartacus because I knew that was coming on in the morning. That was a 1980 Spartacus, not the movie, a 1980s cartoon, 1990s, 1980s cartoon that I loved. It was a journey adventure cartoon that I loved to watch, and it was just the animation was so thrilling to me at the time. I always wanted to see it. But I didn't have the time, so I would throw that on. I would say, "Yeah, I'm getting ready," and I'd be slowly putting my pants on, and I just so many nostalgic, beautiful, blissful memories of being a child in Mount Vernon way back when, before I could even walk to school. I would be getting a car ride in my grandmother's red Pontiac. That was like, oh, there's Miss Bishop. She's rolling up in that red Pontiac.
I miss Pontiac.
Oh, me too, man. That was a great car, and so like I think it got hit or something like that. And the car that hit the Pontiac got destroyed.
Of course.
And then I was like, oh, Grandma, you were running a tank, So
because Pontiacs were real.
Yeah, that's true. They were real cars. So it's always a beautiful memory. And, of course, the song Channel Z, when I used to have to take the bus, I had to take an hour and 30 minutes bus ride to school when I was in college. And one of the things I did was I started to make mixed CDs on MP3. And what ended up happening is when my grandmother went to a nursing home, I kind of like pulled away from the B52s a lot because it was just like, oh my God, my grandmother, this is like kind of the end of time for her and it kind of hurts. So I stopped listening to it because I have so many fond memories of getting ready and her, like I told you that little ditty last week. Her said, you better rock lobster your ass into the car,
Rock lobster your ass.
Just whimsical little things that she would take the name of the song and just say, get together and get going. So for me, the B52s is always a wonderful time. And anytime any of the songs are playing, even their more like awkward, cosmic songs are blasting in my ear, it's always going to remind me of my youth and running around and even listening to the music headed towards college, because Channel Z was like, I had a radio production class, and my radio production teacher, Mr. Winters, Professor Winters, he actually loved the B52s, and he would jam out to them, and that's what made me come back to them, is that song, Channel Z, was one of his favorites, and he was like, you know what, kids? You're missing out on real music. And so he would hate you right now.
He said you're missing out on real music.
Yes, because I think everybody was listening to...
Man, I really have a problem. I really have a problem when old heads say that. Because it's like, have you heard all of the music that's out there?
Ever?
Or are you just turning on 100.3 and basing your opinion on the music that they're playing there?
Well, I mean, he always made his own tapes, so that was one of the things, making mixtapes. But like splicing the actual cassette tape, the sticky dust and tape, the glue and everything, and we'd have to literally make our own CDs, mixtapes from scratch. I learned a lot. I loved that class, and cool. He was a cool dude. And then brought me back to B52s, so I put it on my EP and my MP3, and it popped up, and it just threw me back to the time when my grandmother was taking me around. So it was really nice to come back to that. So it comes full circle. So now here we are. so many years later, some time later, to current day.
He's trying to say he's old.
I'm not old. Just don't look at the grays. And it really made a difference in my life. And the struggles that I lost some friends to HIV/AIDS, and to see the strides they made after losing their bandmate and really catapulting the group after such a devastating loss to this fantastic, to me, asterisk. So, Julian, tell me, how did Mr. Frank Ocean save your life? I was so like Captain Kirk. But seriously, how did Frank Ocean save your life?
So
His music.
So this album came out in 2011.
Ooh.
In 2011, I was still using LimeWire.
Oh my God. The best porn.
What?
That's how you got all your music back.
Yeah, and so that was one of the albums that I just happened to stumble upon, and it was specifically the song "Swim Good" that I heard for the first time, and I was just wow. I was like, who is this guy? And it's not like I haven't heard music like instrumentation of like this before, but his style was just so unique. And obviously, has all these different influences. He says metal and bluegrass.
No, I think it's just fucking with people.
I mean, he obviously has. You can see the RnB in there. But just all in all, just his approach to music, and I just ripped it off LimeWire and started listening to it, and at that time I didn't know that. The only song that I knew on that album that wasn't his was the Hotel California song. I didn't know Strawberry Swing.
Oh man!
Or you know what I mean, or that the other songs were him covering and reimagining the music. So
right.
It was interesting for me to listen to those original songs later. And like you said, the Eagles' Hotel California is just,
pinnacle of
unless you just cover it the same way, you're not.
Right.
I mean,
and even still, like, are you gonna compete with Don Henley vocally?
Yeah, no. But so the thing is that during this time I was I had just completed a year living on my own in Yonkers.
Wow.
And at this point my roommate had told me, I'm going to move back into my mom's. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to look for another roommate. I'm just going to move back into my mom. With my mom. And I honestly that wasn't an awe moment for me, At that point me and my mom's relationship was pretty rocky. So me moving back was just kind of out of necessity. It wasn't because that's what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And having music from Frank Ocean, like Nostalgia Ultra, was really something that, as you say a lot, it kind of got me through those times. It kind of got me out of my head and into more of and just fed my musical creative soul at that point, which is really what I was pouring myself into. At that point, I had just picked up the guitar. I was singing much more, and I was started to compose music. And and his music influenced that. Just his ability to transcend what a black singer should sound like. And same as me. You know what I mean? I'm Hispanic, and I look Hispanic, especially when I have this.
Sassy mustache.
Just when I got the mustache going on, so you know what I mean. I'm not gonna go out there and sing reggaeton or sing some like Spanish ballads. You know what I mean. That really wasn't my thing, even though I do it, guys. So hit me up for your wedding or anything.
Bar mitzvahs.
But in reality, you know what I mean. I wanted to do punk rock. I wanted to just make music that sounded like me and had nothing to do with what I looked like. And I think Frank really motivated me to do so. And honestly, it also ties into the title of this episode, ReCreate. You know what I mean? I made a decision recently that there's something in my life that has been around since I was 18. So I'm 30 now. So we're talking about 12.
You're 30? So old.
So old.
Oh, you're 30?
God.
Oh my God. Go ahead.
At least I'm not 50.
Oh, neither am I.
And I just made a decision, that I wasn't going to smoke weed anymore.
Well done.
And you know what I mean. I just for many reasons, one of them being that that it's having an effect on my respiratory system. You know what I mean?
Especially with a COVID disease flying around.
Well, that is a second motivator, but it's more so I can't. I feel myself losing breath more easily. I feel myself, having a hard time breathing sometimes. And actually, the hilarious, the most ironic part is that I when I was young, I suffered from asthma. You know what I mean?
Oh.
I
didn't know that.
You know what I mean? I've had a lot of I've had
respiratory issues.
I've had a lot of respiratory issues,
Yeah.
and me smoking weed has never made that better. And
usually not.
And now after 12 years, I'm really starting to feel the effects of that. And not only that, you know what I mean? I think that for a long time I made this excuse that like it's part of the creative process, and it, you know what I mean? And just bar none, it's just something that makes you feel good. But as you grow older and you start to have a hard time dealing with emotional issues because you're not dealing with them, you're just kind of running away from them. And you know what I mean? Your body stops producing dopamine at the levels that it used to because it's waiting for this external substance to spark that dopamine hit. And just short-term memory loss and just kind of being mid-sentence and being like, that happening a lot. You know what I mean? So just these things started happening more and more. And then the other part of it was just really connecting the dots in my life, and a lot of the risky situations that I found myself in, a lot of the times I've lost jobs and stuff like that, you know what I mean? No, it can never be the weed. But honestly, it was. Honestly, in one way or another, it contributed to to not being productive, to not being the best of myself in a lot of situations.
Let me ask you something. Do you find that it delays your motory response?
A little bit, yeah. And it also makes me like, if I was high right now, I probably would think that like 2 hours have gone by. My perception of time just gets completely thrown off when I'm under the influence.
Well, I congratulate you, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, it's only been 4 days, guys.
Oh, well, you know what? You can give me a call anytime. I'll be your sponsor. I'll make sure you don't smoke it. I'll be like, Julian, no.
No, but for real, guys. I mean, this is and it's also a choice because I have 2 younger siblings who look up to me, and quite honestly, I haven't been the best role model. And it's okay. It's in the past, and it's something that I have to let go of. And I think that's part of the process. Part of me stopping smoking is kind of forgiving myself for what has happened, and honestly, what at one point was a survival mechanism. You know what I mean? Where I just abused it, and now I'm here.
Awesome, man. I'm proud of you, and I know you're gonna do it. You're gonna move on, and your music's gonna get better because the dopamine will come from that rather than the illegal substance.
Oh man,
that was such a dad thing to say.
But honestly, this whole theme of ReCreate, it really bleeds into a lot of the topics that we're talking about today, even in our next section, which is Behind the Beat. We recreate music when it comes to the artists we work with. And I'm not just talking about covers. You know what I mean? We've done that before. We've had artists come in and they want to do a cover of a song, and we help them reimagine it, and we do a nice little original rendition of the song, which is always cool. But even more so, in a scenario, for example, there's an artist that we're working that we're hopefully striking a deal with soon. Her name is Cara Z, and she when we work together, this is how the process. It works in the following way. She sends us a YouTube beat. She finds a YouTube beat. She writes to it. She writes her lyrics. She writes her melodies, and she is, you know what I mean. She has this song fully formatted already, and she sends it to us. And we at that point recreate the song originally, right? We try to follow the same elements. We try to follow the same. How do I say it? Like it's as if we're taking this song and we're trying to make it completely unique, but having it still work with the melodies and the lyrics that she's written. So this whole process of recreating is something that happens very often in music. When you remix a song, when you cover a song, the same way that Frank Ocean does in this album that I put you onto, Joe.
Yes.
So this whole theme really just kind of courses throughout a lot of the things that we're talking about today. I mean, and also we we not only recreate music, we repurpose it. You know, for example, I have a song on my album that's coming out this year called Shades of Green, and we took the Rugrats theme, and we added a Brazilian funk type of beat to it while you're hearing right, and you're hearing that, and that's just the beauty of music, you know, that you can just do that over and over and over again, and if you do it well and you do it with love, almost every time, it's just something wonderful to listen to, and you're listening to the same jingle that was used years and years and decades after decades. So ReCreate was definitely the theme of the episode, and even in a sad way too, because when I lost my job during the initial pandemic, when I lost my job at WeWork, my laptop that they gave me to use for work had a lot of music that I was working with artists. That was my bad, obviously. But there was no money to buy a laptop at that point, so I was just using their laptop. And when I got let go, they locked me out of that computer the moment I was let go, and they did not let me go back into my computer and take out this music. So for the next few months, me and my partners had to recreate a lot of the music that we had done for these artists.
Oy.
And it's an oi type of feeling, but it's always the silver lining is always that when you come out on the other end and you look at what you've made, you try to make it as close to what you've made before, but it comes out different, and sometimes it actually comes out better because you're doing it a second time.
That's a great way to look at it. That way, you're not stomping yourself in the face.
Yeah, and because you're not what?
Stomping yourself in the face because of a mistake.
Oh, I was. I stomped myself.
Okay.
I think I just got tired of stomping myself in the face.
Understood.
But yeah, you know what I mean. And the other reason why I picked Frank Ocean's album this week was not only because of how it ties into my life and recreation, also because he uses Hotel California as one of the songs that he remakes.
Before you get into the next row, I just want to take a moment to bow my head and do big respect to Eddie Van Halen, who passed away.
Oh, this is true.
Yesterday. So we're very saddened to see
Panama,
the rock god.
Panama, oh, 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 Panama.
So that was just a big hurt. He had been battling throat cancer for years. And, eventually things get you. And it just sucks because I really enjoyed hearing him play guitar, and I was hoping he would do something one last time, but it's not going to happen. And my prayers are with his family. So on that note, I also like the ReCreate for this episode because this was the recreation of B52s in that album. Though you didn't like it as much, still stuck in your head.
Yes, as Joe has schooled me, B52 recreated their sound going into this album, and so again, recreation is something that is fluid in music. It's what I mean. You have to know how to recreate yourself. You can't be a one-trick pony.
Nah.
You know what I mean? You have to evolve, and that evolution and the transformation is hard. It's not easy. Personal or music matters, and either way, at the end of it, it's always something great.
Absolutely.
No.
So take it away. We're doing the.
Don't tell me what to do.
Oh, what? Come on, man. I'm guiding you. I'm not telling you. It's a guidance.
Wow, that sounds like rape.
Oh, my God. I'm not this is not forced.
This is not forced. I'm guiding.
This is going to make you feel good.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That got dark.
But yeah, I picked Frank Ocean because he used Hotel California.
Right.
And Hotel California is a really good Tricks of the Keys. Not in the way that you expect, not in the way that like, oh man, I don't really understand the meaning, and it had this weird meaning. Just in the fact that I feel like the meaning of this song has evolved decade after decade, and the more interviews that happen, the more information that's out there, you start to understand what these different words and what the choices of words and the themes that they decided to use in this music were, and so just like three main points I would say in the theme of this song are drug abuse, handling fame, you know what I mean? Because at this point now the band is blowing up. So how to handle that fame, how to stay sober, how to keep a balance between the fame and your personal life, and also this this notion of how fake Hollywood is. You know what I mean? How fake this industry can be. You know what I mean? And that's why Frank Ocean using that song was so powerful to me, because he's so the opposite of that. You know what I mean? He has done nothing in his career but be true to himself, even to the point where his fans were begging him after Channel Orange, begging him to make an album. And he purposefully delayed the album because he was like, I'm not going to pressure myself to put out a body of work that's special to me just because people need to hear the next Frank Ocean, right? And then you know what he ended up doing? He ended up putting out the album was called Endless. He ended up putting an album after Channel Orange, and he said himself, he's like, I left a lot of songs on there unfinished because I didn't want people to hear the rest.
Wow.
I was upset, and my mood in the music changed because of how my audience and because of how my peers were pressuring me. So it was kind of like a big fuck you to a lot of people. And honestly, I respect that. You know, I respect that, because a lot of times the audience thinks that like you own the artist. You know what I mean? Like this artist, what's the word I'm looking for? They owe you this music. They owe you the next album, and and it's not like that. You know what I mean? We're humans too. And
you are,
and we're very and even more so, we're influenced by what's around us and by the energy that's around us. And that pressure is real. Think about that pressure coming. If I feel that pressure, and you know what I mean, and my fan base is this small. You know what I mean? And you think of Frank Ocean, and his fan base is this big. That pressure is unbearable sometimes. And so some people succumb to it and just put something out to put something out. And then other people like Frank Ocean stand their ground. And
that's really interesting. Actually, there's a lot of artists that stand their ground and do that. It's amazing that you mentioned that. It's fall. It's my favorite time of year. My eyes are not doing so well because the fall seeds go, ha, and they like dive bomb in. And I'm like, but one of the things that I love to do around the fall season is listen to Enigma. And Enigma is like that. They put out albums once every 4 or 10 years because they don't succumb to the pressure, and they're really putting a lot of effort into their work, and they want to put out a good product. They, like Steve Jobs just said, I don't ship junk.
Exactly.
And it's such a beautiful bow. Well, Julian, this was an amazing Disc Dungeon.
Yeah, we got
my therapeutic musical session with my man Julian Valencia.
Exactly, every week
singer-songwriter.
or every other week sometimes. You know what I mean? I always look forward to this because I come out of it with my cup is a little more full after this.
Yeah, you learn about a band that you didn't know that you knew that you liked and didn't like at the same time.
Absolutely. Well, guys, as always, I'm Julian Valencia.
I'm Joe Dove. Please subscribe to the podcast. And if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. Make sure to share it with your friends. Come back next week. We're going to have some more from Comic Conversation. This is Disc Dungeon. Make sure you check out the podcast. You get a whole lot more, some music sections that you're going to be hearing. There's going to be added music. We're leveling up, and we are recreated. Take care.
Yeah, guys. Before we actually finish,
okay,
we just forgot to plug everybody in, man. Julian Valencia, Henry Martinez is part of Audios. Joel Polanco is another member of Audios. We are a production company based in Brooklyn, New York. You can find us at Made by Audios on Instagram. We make music, we develop artists, and that's all you really need to know. So if you're an artist or if you're a producer out there, hit us up. Let's collaborate. Let's talk. Let's keep building our community. And Joe, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me at 2bescene.com. That's the number 2, BESCENE, and that stands for I'm making you recorded so that you can be seen in front of an audience. Get it? And in doing so, I just want to point out something different. I've been wearing music band shirts for the last couple of months, maybe every episode. Today I'm not. Today I'm repping a wrestler that is a very cool guy. He was on the Comic Conversation show. His name's Jake Gomez, a.k.a. the King of Chaos. I'm going to be wearing a couple of wrestling shirts because I'm supporting my friends. So there you go. And we'll see you next time.
All right, guys. Have a great day.